Beloved, we stand at the threshold of a new season. September 2025 is not just another mark on the calendar. It is a divine appointment, a time set apart by heaven. Every moment you live is not random. It is written, designed, and purposed by the one who holds eternity in his hands. You are not here by accident. You are here because the author of time has chosen this moment for you to rise, to awaken, and to step into the calling placed upon your life. Look around you. The world shakes, nations rage, and the noise of uncertainty fills the air. Yet in the midst of the storm, there is a voice calling, steady and unshaken. That voice is the eternal Word of God, the voice that spoke light into darkness, the voice that still declares, "Be strong and courageous, for I am with you." September 2025 is a reminder that no matter the chaos of the earth, heaven's plan has not changed. The promises of God are not bound by politics, economies, or fear. They are eternal, unbreakable, and true. This is the time to rise higher. Many live bound by the chains of yesterday, regret, fear, brokenness. But hear this, you were not created to remain in bondage. You were created to walk in freedom. The doors that seemed locked are about to swing open. The wilderness you've been walking through is leading to a promised land. The dry season is not the end. It is the preparation for a harvest. September is not the month of endings, it is the month of beginnings. You must not measure your life by what the world says. Your destiny is not written by the hand of men, it is written by the hand of God. When He speaks, mountains move. When He breathes, dead bones rise to life. And when He calls you, no power in hell, no chain on earth, and no shadow of doubt can stop what He has ordained. This season calls for courage. It calls for faith that refuses to bow, hope that does not fade, and love that never fails. Do not look at what you lack. Look at who is with you. The same power that split the sea, that tore down walls, that brought forth victory from defeat is alive within you. You are not powerless. You are chosen. You are called. You are destined for such a time as this. So step forward into September 2025 with boldness. Leave behind the weight of fear. Rise above the voices of doubt and hold fast to the word that cannot fail. The God who began the work in you will bring it to completion. The shaking of the world is not your downfall. It is your opportunity to shine. The darker the night, the brighter the light. And you, child of God, were born to shine. Walk in this truth. Live in this power. And never forget heaven's word is your strength, your shield, and your victory. September 2025 is not just a month. It is a call to rise, to awaken, and to step into the destiny written for you from the foundation of the world. September 2025 is not simply another month that appears on a calendar. It carries with it a weight of meaning that reaches beyond time itself. Every season has its rhythm, every day its purpose, and every appointed moment its reason for existence. To see this month only as a turn of the page is to miss the deeper truth that what is unfolding is not random, but divinely orchestrated. Just as seeds are buried in silence before they break forth into harvest, so too is this season designed as a threshold for change, a doorway into something greater than what has come before. It is a reminder that life is not accidental, that every heartbeat carries significance, and that destiny often reveals itself when one is willing to pause and recognize the sacredness of time. The journey of life is often marked by ordinary days, but hidden among them are divine appointments, moments chosen not by human hands, but by the author of existence. September 2025 is such a moment. It is not merely an arrangement of weeks. It is a chapter written with intention. It whispers of beginnings waiting to be born, of opportunities waiting to be seized, and of doors waiting to be opened. The season before may have felt heavy, uncertain, or filled with trials, but this month stands as a declaration that the story is far from over. Each sunrise is a call to awaken to new possibilities, to cast off the shadows of yesterday, and to step into a future that has been prepared with care. In a world that measures time by clocks and calendars, it is easy to forget that every season carries spiritual weight. Yet those who look deeper will see that September is a canvas painted with divine purpose. It is not an ending, but a fresh beginning. Just as autumn prepares the ground for renewal, so too does this moment prepare hearts for transformation. There is a stirring, a shift in the atmosphere that calls for awareness. Those who listen will hear it. not with ears alone, but with spirit. It is the quiet but undeniable reminder that nothing in life is wasted, that even the struggles and delays of past months were shaping and refining for this very moment. This divine appointment is also a call to readiness. One cannot step into new seasons while clinging tightly to what is past. To move forward requires courage to let go, faith to trust, and vision to see beyond what is immediately visible. September is an invitation to release fear, to lay down burdens, and to walk into the unknown with confidence. The very fact that you are here in this month, alive and breathing, is itself a sign that your story is still unfolding, that there are chapters yet to be written, and that the future holds more than you have yet imagined. September 2025 carries with it the power of a reset, a chance to realign, a moment to rise above the noise and rediscover the voice that speaks purpose into existence. This is not coincidence, this is appointment. To embrace it is to understand that destiny does not unfold all at once, but in seasons, and that every season carries within it a gift. This month is such a gift, an appointed time to awaken, to step forward, and to live not in hesitation but in expectation. It is a sacred threshold, and those who recognize it will find themselves standing at the beginning of something greater than what they leave behind. The world often trembles under the weight of uncertainty. Nations rise and fall, economies shift without warning, and fear seems to echo in every corner. September 2025 arrives in such a backdrop where many feel unsteady, unsure of what tomorrow may hold. Yet within the chaos, there remains a truth that cannot be shaken. The promises of God do not bend to the storms of the earth. They are not subject to the decisions of governments, the volatility of markets, or the anxiety of the age. They stand eternal, written before time itself, steady as the stars that light the heavens. This is the hope that anchors the soul when everything else appears to be moving. Chaos has always been part of the human story, but it has never had the final word. From the beginning of time, even when darkness seemed overwhelming, light was spoken into existence. That same voice still speaks today, calling life into dead places and hope into weary hearts. The storms may rage louder, but the word remains stronger. This month is not defined by headlines, fear, or uncertainty. It is defined by the unchanging nature of a God whose power transcends every shaking of the world. Where man sees collapse, heaven sees opportunity. Where fear sees an ending, faith sees a beginning. Hope is not blind optimism. It is not pretending that the troubles of the world do not exist. It is the recognition that above every storm, there is a higher reality at work. Hope does not ignore the wind and waves. It sees them but refuses to be defined by them. It trusts in something greater. September becomes a reminder that though the earth may quake, there is a foundation that cannot be moved. Those who build their lives on this foundation stand when everything else falls. They may bend under the pressure of trials, but they do not break, for their strength comes not from within themselves, but from the one who holds the universe together. This is the invitation of this season, to choose faith over fear, courage over despair, and trust over doubt. The noise of the world may try to drown out the quiet voice of truth, but for those who listen, that voice still speaks clearly. It whispers, "Do not be afraid. I am with you." Such words carry more power than the loudest chaos because they remind us that we are never alone, never abandoned, never without hope. The presence that walked with people through wilderness and fire is the same presence that walks with us now. Even in the darkest seasons, hope shines the brightest. The world may look at September 2025 and see only uncertainty, but those who lift their eyes higher will see promise. Every storm eventually passes. Every night eventually gives way to dawn. What seems impossible today becomes a testimony tomorrow. This is not the end, it is a turning point. The shaking that surrounds us is not a sign of destruction, but of preparation, a clearing away of what cannot last so that what is eternal may stand revealed. So take heart. Do not allow fear to write the story of your life. Let faith be the pen and hope be the ink. The promises spoken over you are stronger than any trial before you. As the world stirs in uncertainty, remember that you belong to a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Let this truth be your strength, your anchor, and your courage as you walk through this season. For no matter how great the storm, The Word of God will always outlast the chaos. There comes a point in every journey where one must decide whether to live chained to what was or to walk boldly into what can be. September 2025 is not just another turn of the page, it is a season that calls for courage, a season that whispers of freedom, a season that urges the soul to rise above the weight of the past. Too many walk burdened by memories of failure, fear of tomorrow, or scars that seem to define their worth. Yet this moment is a reminder that no one is meant to stay in bondage forever. Freedom is not an illusion. It is a birthright, a promise, and a gift waiting to be embraced. The chains of regret are heavy. They whisper that mistakes of yesterday will always dictate the steps of tomorrow. They convince hearts that the pain endured has the final word. But those whispers are lies. The truth is that the past may shape you, but it cannot imprison you unless you allow it. September arrives like a door swinging wide open, declaring that yesterday's failures are not today's destiny. Every misstep can be redeemed, every broken dream can be rebuilt, and every wound can be healed. What seemed like a dead end is in fact a hidden beginning, a chance to walk into a greater chapter of life with renewed strength and vision. Courage is the key that unlocks this freedom. It is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. Fear will always try to speak louder when new opportunities arise. It will try to convince you to stay where it feels safe, even if that place is a prison. But courage rises and says, I will not stay here any longer. I will step forward into what I was created to become. Courage does not wait for perfect conditions. It moves even when the path is uncertain. And in that step, mountains shift, doors open, and chains fall away. This season is also a reminder that faith and freedom go hand in hand. You cannot cling to the pain of yesterday and embrace the promise of tomorrow at the same time. Something must be released for something greater to be received. Faith is the choice to release the weight, to trust that what lies ahead is worth more than what has been lost. It is the assurance that you are not walking alone, that every step into the unknown is guided, and that the one who began the journey will not abandon you halfway. September 2025 carries with it the fragrance of new beginnings. The wilderness you have walked through was not meant to break you, but to prepare you. The struggles you endured were shaping resilience, strength, and character within you. The tears you shed watered the very ground that will now produce your harvest. Freedom is not simply about leaving behind what is broken. It is about stepping into the abundance of what is waiting. It is about seeing yourself not as a victim of life's storms, but as a survivor who is stronger because of them. The call of this season is clear. Rise with courage. Do not allow fear to keep you chained. Do not allow regret to hold your gaze backward. Lift your eyes and see that the path before you is filled with promise. The past cannot define you because you were created for more than survival. You were created for victory. Step boldly, live freely, and embrace the fullness of what has been prepared for you. September is not a continuation of defeat. It is the declaration of freedom. Identity is one of the greatest battles a person will ever face. The world constantly tries to define who you are by your failures, your weaknesses, your appearance, or your circumstances. Voices around you may whisper that you are not enough, that you do not measure up, or that your life is insignificant. Yet September 2025 stands as a reminder that your true identity is not written by the world, nor is it determined by the opinions of others. It is written by the one who formed you with purpose, breathed life into your being, and destined you to walk with meaning. When storms arise, it becomes easy to forget this truth. The shaking of life makes people doubt their worth, questioning whether they have what it takes to stand. But identity anchored in eternal truth does not shift when the winds blow. You are not the sum of your mistakes, nor are you limited by the labels others have placed upon you. You were created intentionally, chosen before the foundation of time, and called to shine as a light in the midst of darkness. The trials you face do not erase your calling, they refine it, making you stronger and preparing you to fulfill it. Destiny is not something reserved for the powerful, the famous, or the flawless. Destiny is for every heart that dares to believe it was made for more than survival. You are not here to drift aimlessly through life, you are here to walk in purpose. The world may overlook you, but heaven has not. Every detail of your journey is woven together into a tapestry that leads you toward the fulfillment of your calling. Even the setbacks and detours are part of the preparation. The moments you thought were wasted have been shaping you for such a time as this. September arrives as a turning point, declaring that it is time to embrace who you truly are. You are not powerless. You are not forgotten. You are not without value. The same power that spoke creation into existence dwells within you, equipping you to overcome, to rise, and to impact the world around you. When you walk in this identity, fear loses its grip, doubt loses its voice, and hope begins to overflow. You stop comparing yourself to others because you realize you were never meant to be a copy. You were meant to be an original reflection of divine purpose. The world is filled with darkness, but that is why you were born in this generation. Light shines brightest when the night is at its deepest. You are not an accident. You were chosen to live here and now, to be a beacon of strength, hope, and love in a world that desperately needs it. Destiny is not waiting for someone else. It is waiting for you. It is not far off in the distance. It is written within you, waiting to be awakened. September 2025 is an invitation to step fully into that identity, to no longer live as though you are defined by fear or by the limits others have set, but to live as someone chosen, equipped, and destined for impact. When you embrace this truth, you walk differently, you speak differently, and you live with a boldness that no storm can silence. You become unshakable, not because life is easy, but because your foundation is unmovable. This is the call of the season, to know who you are, to walk in the destiny already written for you, and to shine as a light that cannot be hidden. You are chosen, you are called, and you are destined. September is not a reminder of what you lack. It is a declaration of who you truly are.